What is up, everybody, and thank you for coming back to my channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at some very interesting statistics to help us determine what will actually take place in the real estate market moving forward. Now, the general consensus is that the market is going to be picking up as interest rates go down, and that is true. But there are some statistics that we need to take into consideration before the actual home prices do begin to escalate. So this is going to be a very short video on what I've seen through history, and I want to be able to present that to you again to arm you, enable you, and become a better real estate investor. So without further ado, let's get into some of these statistics and see what do you think will actually happen. Just a quick summary of what is happening currently in the real estate market. We are seeing house prices deflate a little bit. It is definitely in buyer's market territory. But the question is as the Bank of Canada continues to reduce rates, and we are expecting a further 2 more rate reductions before the end of the year, will that spark buyers to jump into the market and take advantage of some of these items that are basically on sale right now? So what I'm going to be showing you is some stats that will actually show otherwise. I am very bullish on the real estate market. I am actually still very active in the real estate market. And so this is basically how you could take the information. I'm not necessarily timing the market, but I feel that there is a lag effect that is going to be taking place. And so this is where we are right now, where rates are slowly coming down. They haven't really affected the market so much. Home prices are still declining. The question really becomes is where is that sweet spot for you to enter the market? One thing that I've been telling my clients is that a couple years ago, people were overbidding. They didn't care what it was. They would put $100,000 or $150,000. There were 40 offers on a property, and they wanted to be able to get a property, and they were basically losing several bids, and it was very exhausting for the buyer emotionally. Now you're in a market situation where there are basically no buyers. You got sellers who have reduced their prices. Yes, you do have sellers that are stubborn and they don't really understand the market, but they are waiting for somebody to come in and take their properties, and the buyers are not coming out. Now, we obviously know mortgage rates are at all-time highs. Yes, they're coming down. Things are becoming affordable, but they are very high still in comparison to rental rates. If you are in the market ready to take action, is this the market for you? Here we're going to take a look at some parts in our history. We'll be able to see what had happened while interest rates were going down to home prices. So our first point we're going to be looking at is what actually happened between 1981 and 1983. Bank of Canada's interest rates had actually reached 20.78%, basically credit card debt levels. And by 1983, the rate had come down to 9.26%. Despite the interest rate being cut pretty much in half, home prices declined 14% during that same time period of rate reductions. Now, what did inflation do? Inflation actually shot up to 17%. So we're not necessarily in that situation. But still, while the interest rates were being cut, home prices actually went down 14%, not up. So for example, in Vancouver, during that same time, home prices had actually declined 40%. So that was a massive decrease in home prices before the recovery actually began. So it is definitely something that we need to consider, that while rates are coming down, there was a lag effect that took some time before the house index actually started to climb. So in this chart here, although we reached the bottom in 83, there was a sharp recovery initially the year after. And then obviously there was a little bit of a decline before it actually started to go back up in 1988. And that brings us to our next point in history, which was from 1990 to 1994. And here we saw the bank rates go from 13.5% to 3.6%. Home prices actually fell by 8%, and inflation had still increased to 10%. So during that period of time from about 89 to 93, in the GTA, home prices had actually dropped 28%. So again, a very steep decline, and we can take a look at the chart here again. Here is that same period right here. It continued to decline from 1990 all the way to 1994 before we saw an uptick again. And now that brings us to 1995 and 1996. And what had actually happened is where unaffordability again peaked its head. So the Bank of Canada was forced to reduce rates from 8.2% from March of 95 all the way down to 3% in November of 96. Home prices actually declined 4.5% and inflation had actually increased 3%. And again, let's take a look at the chart. You can see here from that same period again, where you are seeing a decline right from the beginning of the interest rate cuts to the end, before some stabilization actually occurred and the market did go up. And that leads us to the next marker of where home prices had actually seen a decline, and that was the global financial crisis from 2007 and 2008. Many of you are familiar with what had happened. Although the Canadian market had stayed quite strong, it still did see a softening in the market. So during this time, the bank rate fell from 4.25 to 0.25%. But home prices actually did decline 9%. Now, again, we saw home prices recover and, there was opportunities thereafter compared to what had happened to the US. But again, while the rates were being cut, that is where we still saw a lag effect occur and home prices took time to actually still go up from the inception of those rate cuts. So you could see in 95, 96, there was only a 4.5% price reduction in homes. But I think that that's kind of what's going to happen right now. You're really only going to be fighting for a couple of percentage point reduction on a home. Homes have actually still declined. If you take a look at some of my older videos, you can actually see in my market reports, we talk about how much a specific city has actually either gone up or gone down. If you do have any questions regarding real estate or mortgages, I would highly recommend you book a call via my Calendly link. We can go over the numbers and your specific situation and what works best for you. So I hope this video does help. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Share the video with somebody who is on their own real estate journey and can benefit from the information that I'm providing. And until then, stay savvy, stay informed, stay knowledgeable, and may your investments flourish and your dreams of home ownership become a reality. And we'll catch you on the next one.